Hey YouTube, today we'll be looking at and reviewing the Schecter Johnston Diamond Series guitar, and we'll just go into a little bit of the details of what it has compared to what the competition brings, value for money, and just an overall insight of how it plays after some time. So let's go ahead and just get started with some of the specs that this guitar offers. It comes in atomic green, which is really nice. In the video, oftentimes it does start to look blue, but it is atomic green. And it comes with a mint green pickguard as well. It really accents it well, and I just have a thing for mint green pickguard, so it is just awesome for me as well. And it also has the SSS configuration, as you can see, with the modern selector of them, where you have the neck, middle bridge, and then the bridge. Switch is also very high quality, the same as you would see on a Fender American series. Comes with the volume and tone knob here as well. It's just got two as opposed to three that the traditional Strat would have, but oftentimes I just use one tone knob anyways to control it, so it's completely fine, and I really love that as well. The output jack is now moved to the side. Schecter didn't put the output jack here, where this would start to bend it, as some stands like mine, since they're so low to the ground, they can often start to bend this, but they moved it higher, so there's no issue there, and it looks so much neater, just not having that output jack there. And of course that volume knob, or not volume, but one of the tone knobs being on, it gives it a really clean look. So aesthetically, it's just amazing. The pickups themselves, they're classified as low output pickups, but in my opinion, they get pretty hot. I'm coming from a Squier Classic vibe, so I guess everything feels like it's really hot in comparison. It does compare to a traditional Fender Strat, though. I will say that when I played a Player Series Telecaster and just kind of did it with this, it felt like it was around that same level. It's got a 2-point tremolo system here as well, and the trem bar isn't one of those threaded ones. You just stick it in and you're good to go. And there's an adjuster here as well. It's a little piece. You can adjust how tight or loose you want it as well. This guitar, at least with the Schecter setup that it comes out from the factory, it's set up to be a little bit floating, so you can always bend it back and up. Even Nick Johnston himself, I don't think he uses a tremolo. I don't know too much about him, but from his videos, it looks like he doesn't use the trem, and he just kind of bends this back and forth whenever he plays, and that's kind of how I do it myself, so that's awesome. The setup is really good there. Let's move on from the body up, and let's go ahead and start with this truss rod. I prefer it this way just because, you know, in the case that your truss rod nut gets stripped, this makes it so much easier having it here than there, as in this one, there's very low chances of it stripping, and even if it does strip, you can still at least put something in there, even if it's not the exact Allen wrench, to go ahead and do the adjustment. So this is really good and very appreciated, as in the past I've had a truss rod nut strip on me and it turned into a headache. As we move on, this comes with an ebony fretboard, so very dark, and it accents this super well. It's got brass inlays. I like them so much that on all of my other guitars now, they just look tacky, the regular inlays. This is just so good that it kind of ruined the other guitars for me now. And I wish all my guitars had this really subtle inlay going on. And as we move on up, we do have a Graphtec Tusk nut here. It's self-lubricating, so very good. Very nicely cut as well. And as we move on, we do have the 6 inline tuners. As we go on the back, we do have locking tuners here as well, which come standard, and they are made by Schecter. They look great, and they also work very well. We have a roasted maple neck, which is very cool to see. It looks great as well. I know I've said that many times now, but I just can't really get over how nice it is in terms of not just playing, but really in looks as well. It really inspires you to play it. There's also lots of benefits in having one. You can always search that up. And with the ebony fretboard and this roasted neck and this atomic green, it just has a great premium feel to it. Even when I'm playing, it really does feel like it's on a higher level due to quality, materials, overall design of all of this. As we move down, we do have the contoured heel joint where the heel is pushed in a little bit so you can access the higher registers easier. So apart from the specs, some more things about this guitar is if you're in the market for a Strat, I would highly recommend looking at this one. I love Fender Strats and also other Strat copies, but this seems to be one of the best that I've seen so far. Everything's just so well thought out. Design-wise, playability, everything else is really just on point. So that's why I really picked this after doing research, and why I would recommend it to everyone else. Having things like locking tuners, which just come stock, is really awesome. You don't have to install them or buy them. They're just there ready for you to play. The contoured heel joint, all those things, they make a difference in long-term use. One other thing I wanted to note is going to be the neck of this guitar. It's pretty unique, and I've always seen people ask about the neck, and I myself was concerned about it. So I wanted to just really touch on this, is that it's a C-shaped neck. So if you have played a Fender Strat or held one before, it's going to feel similar to that, but it's going to be a bit slimmer. It's not Ibanez or anything in that level of slimness, but it is going to be slimmer than your Fender Strat. And it has a 14-inch radius, and the 14-inch radius, that may seem pretty drastic from the 9.5, and yes, it definitely is, but it does have its own benefits of why a 14-inch radius could be better. Even though the 9.5 may feel comfier, it turns out the 14 is equally or better in comfort, at least after playing both for a while now. That's my review of the Schecter Nick Johnston, and I hope I was able to help you make a purchasing decision or answer any questions that you may have had. And if there's anything that I didn't cover that you want to know about, please feel free to comment. Thanks. Take care.